Please do not witch hunt or harass anyone mentioned in the video. I don't condone either of those actions. These commentaries are for entertainment and critique of videos, not to harm others. Thank you and enjoy. Hi, I'm ED, creation of Misal, and the Dragon Lady will be talking about something stupid on the internet today. That stupid thing is a commentary by someone named Riolu Puppy, who made a video on a rant. That video is the one we'll be covering, though a little information on her first. Riolu Puppy is a secondary channel to Lucario Kitty. The description states it's a place for fandubs, comics, dubs, music covers, animation, music videos, etc, etc. I'd assume that etc includes commentary, since you made a playlist for the ones you do make, but you only really have one video in there. So, let's get to it. Well, good thing you're open to critique, because I'm going to be giving it to you. Now for this. You could put music to it, or you could read it out for someone like Misal, who's a slower reader, or leave it on the screen for a bit longer. She actually had to pause the video to read it. Which isn't the best. Misal is a really slow reader, so we understand why it may have been hard for her. Yeah, it's why I like videos where they read out the text on screen, screenshots, and stuff like that.
Disclaimer. This video is for educational and documentary purposes only. This video is in no way, shape, or form a rant. I also do not condone any witch hunting or harassment of any sort, such as trolling, etc. If you're watching this to send hate to said user, it's strongly advised against. This video may or may not also contain disturbing, scary, or violent content. Viewer discretion is advised.
You do realize you only need one disclaimer, right? Like, you can have one before or after your intro, but you don't need to put two in there. If it was a mistake, then might I recommend watching your video once you are done editing it before you export it? It might also help to have other people watch your video and upload it to check for things like this. There are Discord servers made for this thing, to help others with content and such. You can find them by Googling them even. You can send videos through Google Docs, or if needed, upload a video to YouTube unlisted to share it with only the ones you want to have checking your stuff.
Now, I said this before, and will continue to do so until the end of time. I don't consider myself a ranter or commentator by any means necessary or possible, but I will jump on the opportunity every now and again.
It's easy to see that you aren't either of those things, otherwise you wouldn't be lumping them together like you are. Ranting and commentary are very different from one another, and Misal is in the process of making a video explaining the difference between rants, reviews, and commentary. And based on this video of yours, you might need to pay better attention to the differences in the kinds of content their communities make and the communities themselves. Ranting videos are more emotional based as well as personal taste based on a lot more anger, and commentaries are meant to help first and foremost with less emotional bias. For the most part. That's a gross oversimplification of it, but that is the basic ideas between the two.
Also keep in mind that this is to help this person, and I neither condone nor agree with the acts with the user they're ranting about, or agree with the majority of their topics. Sure, my opinions are just as valid as theirs is, but there is going to be some major critiques here and there, harsh and light.
Yes, well, that is how commentary videos work. In all seriousness, you should explain this through the video with your points so everyone knows where you stand as they watch the video. This feels a little info dumpy. I understand why you feel the need to do it, but it kind of feels like if you need to explain that, you need to work on the way you say and word things. If you write scripts, maybe have others look over it, especially other commentators if that's at all possible. Having the eyes of people who can help before the public has something to say is usually for the best, as they can offer advice faster and you can ask follow-up questions on what they mean.
Ladies and gentlemen, EVs and Riolus of all ages, meet Dreamer Studios, an upcoming ranter who started their channel around June 21st, 2008.
Couple of things. 1. May want to double check and even triple check your audio. Misal has found that that's one of the hardest parts of editing for her, and while it is understandable, you might want to work on it. 2. Thank you for showing text on screen, correcting your mistake, but might I suggest using a border color as well next time, as it makes it easier to see. The border can be a few shades lighter or darker as well, and work well enough. This is mostly for mobile users like Misal, as she had a hard time reading that last word.
But I'd like to give her some help on the matter, if she wants to continue this. I seriously hope this girl can take critique.
Dreamer is a trans man. I believe at the time he made this video he was a minor, and he has yet to have top surgery to transition, so it's understandable you might have known that. I'm letting you know so you can leave a pinned comment or something to correct yourself, though given how long it took for this video to come out from when you started it, you could have checked with new content of Dreamers and made alterations. If you had re-recorded it, you could have added the text at the start of the video like you had stated that the video was written in 2019. If it takes this long to make a video, I think it's best to look into the person to make updates to the script if needed.
The video in question I'm referring to is one of her most recent ones. Emily Princess Rant and Review.
So, I checked the video and the thumbnail says rant and review, but the title... it doesn't say review, and it could have been changed, I'll admit that. But I have no proof it was changed, and I did check the Wayback Machine. As such, I'm going off the assumption that the title wasn't changed, but if you want to prove me wrong, I'm open to it. However, as is, keep in mind what she has said.
Who happens to use bases and not give credit to the original base artist. Now keep in mind that I don't condone Emily's actions in this video, but I think Dreamer's rant is a little... well... kind of like those old DA rants back in the day.
Harsh. The word you're looking for is harsh. And you've already stated that you don't agree with the actions of Emily. You don't need to repeat it every so often. As for Dreamer's videos, yeah, he's harsh. He isn't the nicest person and he knows it. He isn't trying to be a sweet person. He makes videos for others' improvement, entertainment, or to get his thoughts and feelings out there. If he tried to be nice and pleasant the whole time, then the videos wouldn't have rant in them. Rants are his usual videos, as of right now anyway. So his videos are going to have that vibe, especially with a newer ranter, as that's probably what they watched, and they need to get a feel for making their own videos before getting into the groove of making videos and what their content is going to look like. I'm not saying those old rants were good, only that when people first start out, that they take inspiration from those they watch and base their content on that.
Today we've got a user named Emily Princess, whose gallery is just yikes. We've got a whole bunch of self-insert, copy-paste OCs, and a bunch of bases, which normally wouldn't be bad if she would actually bother crediting the fucking bases she used.
On Emily's part, Dreamer did mention that Emily herself is a 13-year-old girl. Not everyone's gonna be a Van Gogh or a Picasso when they're 13, nor will they think about crediting the base artist. And I will kind of defend Emily on that part, but at the same time, I also agree with Dreamer. Emily, if you ever come across this video, I'd advise you to give credit where credit's due for the base artists. As for Dreamer, I don't know if you choose quantity over quality when it comes to your microphone, but I can barely hear you, dear. I understand you just started your channel a month ago, but I recommend getting an affordable microphone with better sound quality when you get a chance to buy a new one. At least you didn't use text-to-speech.
Okay, I know that was a lot, but I have a lot to say, and I didn't want to break it up in case you wanted context for another thing that I was referencing in my points. If Emily happens across this video, it's possible she's 16 and has changed, as it's been years since you started this video and didn't update or redo it. Actually, let me check something. Okay, so Emily hasn't been posting since 2019, but she has seen the video courtesy of Bailey, sharing it to her and even responded. I will be reading it later when it's more relevant, but as it is, she says she's made all her own bases. Which I doubt since 1, she's purged her gallery, and 2, she started crediting the bases she used, which is really good. It shows that she has grown based on the criticism Dreamer gave her. As for Dreamer's mic, he was unable to buy his own at the time due to being a minor, so he was using a hand-me-down mic, which could have been all he had. Misal is recording this on her phone and still has trouble with audio balancing everything, so maybe recommend people talk louder or turn the music down, if it's just that you can't hear them, rather than the quality of the mic. Recommend a new microphone if the quality is bad, or you hear static, or the audio is skipping or something. Audio balancing. It's one of the hardest yet most important parts of a video there is. Also, don't call strangers over the internet dear. It just feels wrong and you could weird out the person you're calling dear. And lastly, what's so wrong with text-to-speech? I mean, some people use it because they're mute but want to make videos, or they hate the way their voice sounds because they're trans, or they want to use a character in their videos and can't voice that character for some reason. I mean, as long as the voices weren't taken immorally, then why do you have an issue with people using it? There are even channels that use text-to-speech that are at the very least decent, like Pink Robot, Automagic Critic, Rat Barrage. I do understand you might not personally like it, but there is still value in it, and you don't even need to include that part to the point you were making. Instead, you could have recommended an affordable microphone for Dreamer to buy and use in place of the one he's currently using, and why you recommend it.
Okay, so for the most part, it's not a horrible design. The shade of pink they use isn't eye bleeding, which is surprising for an MLP OC. Crystal Pony Alicorn, not a lot really wrong with that. But I'm gonna be honest, the rainbow tipped wings and rainbow magic is a little bit fucking much. And the horn is a completely different colour from the rest of the body. Like, why do you do these things? With the wings, it just adds too much to design, and pointing to rainbow magic already pisses me off. I genuinely think it's stupid, and it looks stupid.
I mean, it's all your opinion and all.
Yes, that's why it's in the style of a rant, and possibly review. Reviews are that of opinions based on a person's thoughts, taste in things, and experiences. And rants are based on a person's opinions more so than the review, as well as having insults and emotions from the person ranting more than anything else. Honestly, it's like you were expecting Dreamer to make a video that was a review and commentary with much more emphasis on review, not more on the ranting like Dreamer does.
All well and good, my dude, but I don't see too much wrong with the OC itself, aside from the base and not giving credit, of course. Emily might have just started using MS Paint, and that's where a majority of all digital drawn artists begin. Even I myself have used MS Paint in the past, and now I've evolved into Fire Alpaca, which is completely free, by the way. So fuck you, Photoshop!
Okay, bit of a ramble there, but if Emily wouldn't give credit, then she could have just done traditional art and uploaded the pictures of it. She's done it before. It's honestly nice. A bit amateur, sure, but nothing a little practice won't help. From this, she needs to thin the neck around the chest area, thicken the neck near the head, and move the wings a bit further up, but seriously, that's nothing bad. She might want to get advice from an actual artist rather than me. I don't do art at all, and Misal does an amateur level of art. As for not seeing a problem with the OC, well...
Now again, this could be my opinion, but the design itself of Emily's Alicorn OC looks rather decent to me. No bright eye-bleeding colors, no overly saturated designs, no Mary Sue-ish, over-exaggerated looks to it in my opinion. I think the Crystal Alicorn rainbow power pattern looks rather nice on the character, though I'm getting off topic. Dreamer could have at least said what's wrong with the rainbow tips on the wings like this. There needs to be some kind of blur effect for the tip of the wings, and on her tail as well. I mean, that's kind of how I would have done it.
That may have been how you would have done it, but you aren't Dreamer. He may have had a problem with there being so many colors or how it doesn't look show accurate. Maybe he dislikes the rainbows on the OCs, or how different the colors are from the rest of the usual body colors, as well as the rainbow is pretty distracting compared to the rest of her design, especially compared to how the rest of the characters in the show are. It is an MLPOC that doesn't say it is an AU, so we can assume this character is probably trying to stay as close to as she can to the show, thus trying to be show accurate, which means there are specific rules and guidelines set in place. For instance, changelings are generally bug-like in appearance, even reformed changelings. Making a changeling OC based on the show and not an AU, but having them look more like goats wouldn't be show accurate, and people would probably have a problem with that if you tried to make them interact with other characters of their kind.
I don't see anything wrong with the OC itself, other than there needs to be blur effects where the rainbow is on the tips of the wings and on the tail. But the rainbow horn itself is a rather nice touch, actually.
When you divorce the OC from the show? Sure, I can agree with that. But that isn't what Dreamer is talking about, I think. I do believe when Dreamer makes these videos, he's referencing the source material more than the fan stuff. As such, you should look at this character in the lens of fitting in the world of MLP FIM, and that horn would not fit. It looks like she got into some poison joke and it did that to her horn and the tips of her wings. Every pony would be so weirded out by the rainbow on her body. Even Rainbow Dash only has streaks through her hair that flows through her mane and tail like water, being nice and streaked in looking rather than being like it was dyed. Well, I think the rainbow power pony thing you mentioned is actually a bit more extreme, but that only lasted for like a few minutes to defeat an enemy, and the designs of the main six was more fluid in the hair department, while the wings weren't just tipped. She doesn't look wild or crazy enough for her to be a rainbow power pony. Like, they are far brighter, more vibrant than the Alicorn OC, so she doesn't even fit in with hair, color, wings, or patterns. And their horns stay normal in color.
And saying it looks stupid and is stupid doesn't really help much in the matter of reviewing or critiquing a person's OC. You need to amplify why you think Rainbow Magic and MLP is stupid and or looks stupid which will help explain your opinion on it a little bit further.
Because magic is usually one color, maybe two depending on how strong the magic in the spell is, but the other colors are usually similar to one another. Because it's been done in the fandom many times. Because there's never a good reason given for why the magic is more than one very different color. Because just because you like rainbows, you need to make sure your OC fits into the world with the rules that Hell World has set up if you don't have an AU. Because this isn't Rainbow Magic, the book series. Because even Discord doesn't have Rainbow Magic and he's Reality Warper. Hi, editing Misal here. I wanted to point this out because I didn't see it until now while I was editing this, but most creatures don't have rainbow magic. The only thing I can think of that has rainbow magic is the elements of harmony. And she doesn't seem connected to them in any way. Okay, that's it, bye-bye. Shall I keep going, or does this seem good?
The cutie mark is also kind of dumb. Like, honestly, it says in the picture that she got her cutie mark from bringing everyone together and that she's the princess of peace and unity. Honestly, wouldn't have gotten that with her special talent from a rainbow heart. Honestly, would have thought she was a gay princess. Not gonna lie. I personally think it would have been better if the cutie mark was something like this, but replace the triangle with a heart and make her cutie mark the teal color her horn is.
Well, maybe she has a fascination for hearts, and likes to put the designs on her MLPOCs. For example, it's like with me having a fascination for skull or bat patterns on a certain design or character, and that's what attracts me, and what I feel fits my OC personally. While the unity symbol is a nice example, she may want to keep the heart design because she likes it on her OC. Not everything has to be changed on a character, you know. Some people keep something old on their characters while figuring out redesigns for them. And while I do respect your critique on changing the horn to the color of the OC as Dreamer, I'm going to have to slightly disagree with that. Now for Emily, I would change the horn to the same color of the skin on the OC, but if you want to keep the rainbow colors, make it worse when she's performing her magic powers. So you can have your cake and eat it too. Having the teal pink color to the horn and turning it into a rainbow power when she's using magic. Also, the thing about the rainbow heart is, well, from the research I've done, the rainbow symbolizes peace and serenity. Whenever a rainstorm or thunderstorm passes, a rainbow appears when sunlight breaks through the clouds, leaving the message that there's always a silver lining upon a cloud when dark times arise, and there's always a rainbow after the storm, meaning beautiful things follow after times of darkness. You can't have a rainbow without rain after all, and rainbows don't always mean gay, but that's pretty much one of, if not the main reasons why the gay pride flag is a rainbow. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments.
So that's a lot from her, and it's basically all at one point, and I'm going to say something about it. Dreamer did give a way for her to keep the heart design.
I personally think it would have been better if the cutie mark was something like this, but replace the triangle with a heart and make her cutie mark the teal color her horn is.
As such, you don't need to keep going on the point. Maybe if you had a problem with what Dreamer suggested, you could have said he could suggest more than one good-looking kind of design for Emily's options, so Emily could pick the one she wanted to use. Also, Dreamer is in the LGBTQ+ community, and as such, it could be when he sees a rainbow on something, he connects it to the community he's a part of. It's what people do. When they see something familiar, they compare it to what they know. He's trans and not straight. As such, at least a small part of his identity is that of the rainbow alphabet, and seeing a rainbow on a character could be someone's subtle way of coming out. Whereas Emily seems to be cis-het. I have seen the heart that's a rainbow used for a gay pony princess before, and they were all over the place for a while, so I wouldn't put it past people to make that assumption. Emily's princess pony design very much screams closeted gay person from what I've seen from other people's subtle designs. Like, look at it! Please tell me if I'm wrong, but if you saw this without knowing it was made by a cis-het person, would you say she looks like she's gay or made by a gay person? She has a lot of rainbow, and even Rainbow Dash has been shown in the show to be very close with Applejack. In the future, the show lets us see.
If you let me do some of the chores instead of always doing everything yourself.
Maybe I would if you did them the right way. Oh, sorry. We're not the last ones, are we?
They have also shown other couples that aren't hetero in the show, so it's safe to assume that Equestria is a society that is pro-LGBTQ+, and would welcome having a gay princess. If they don't have one already, that is. Now for the rainbow flag thing, because I'm correcting you in a video, not in the comments. According to Britannic, the flag colors actually represent something different based on the color. The pink stripe represents sex, orange for life, red for healing, yellow for sunlight, green for nature, turquoise for art, indigo for harmony, and violet for spirit. I know you said you did research, but obviously you didn't do enough if you didn't check something that was so easy to find the answer to. Also, there was a lot of padding in that, and in commentaries, we try and keep the padding to a minimum amount if there is any at all, and I'm going to bring this up here. Dreamer's video is 6 minutes and 41 seconds long. Would anyone like to take a guess at how long her video is? 10 minutes? Wrong. 15 minutes? Wrong. 20 minutes? Wrong again. No, her video is a whopping 32 minutes long. And 1 second, but good lord, talk about padding. Like, get to the point already. This is far longer than it needs to be to cover a short video that's mostly inoffensive. I say mostly because you've clearly taken offense and made this video to try and make yourself feel better. Seriously, you'd think Dreamer stole your significant other with a video like this, but all Dreamer did was cover some poorly made OCs by someone else. Let's just get to the next point. We're already 8 minutes and 50 seconds in her video, and I don't want to be here all day.
Her cutie mark is for unity and peace. She's a Princess Alicorn Crystal pony. My pony, Princess Sparkle. Personally, I have an issue with that name just because it sounds too much like Twilight Sparkle.
Again, my opinion, but I don't think the name bothers me much. Personally, I would change it to Princess Sparkle Starshine, or something cutesy like that on Emily's part.
But given the name was Princess Sparkle, it sounds like she's trying to impersonate Princess Twilight Sparkle. A name change kinda seems to be in order, and I think the new suggestion is fine, but here are other names, some having to do with her special talent. Princess Rainbow Sprinkle, Princess Harmony, Princess Hearth, Princess Peace, Princess Unity, Princess Twinkle. Just add some suggestions that could be mixed and matched to Emily's content, or if she doesn't like them, she could use as a jumping off point to find something she might have preferred. Try giving people more than one option. Your way isn't the defining best way of doing things just because you like it.
She was born a crystal pony, an alicorn pony, and is more powerful than Celestia, Luna, Twilight, Starlight, and all other ponies, but she hasn't unlocked her magic yet. Question, she hasn't unlocked her magic yet, then how the fuck is she stronger than Luna, Celestia, Twilight, and fucking Starlight combined? I call bullshit!
Oh well, it could be similar to baby alicorn magic in a way. Again, some mature faster than others, and OCs and characters are no exception to this rule. With her being stronger than Celestia, Luna, Twilight, and Starlight, and her magic being unlocked, I would say that she has trouble controlling her magic, and is yet to learn how to control it, due to it having so much power by any means possible, and probably why, as Emily claims, her character is stronger than the two princesses, Twilight and Starlight. So if that made any sense at all, it's safe to say that it isn't bullshit. But if her OC is OP, and, as Dreamer states, is BS, then there needs to be an explanation from Dreamer as to why she believes it to be. It doesn't have to be in full detail, of course. It could be a quick explanation, like this one for example. Both Celestia and Luna are extremely powerful and possible immortal natural-born alicorn princesses, while Cadence was born a Pegasus, and Twilight was born a unicorn, and both are chosen by Celestia to become artificial alicorns. Given their alicorn power, gods/goddess-like abilities specialized to their personalities, talents, etc. That's all I have to do, Dreamer. Explain why you think something is BS, and if you want to go into full detail, that's perfectly fine with me and everyone else. If you want to make it detailed, or quick and easy and painless. As for the more OP than the princesses, Twilight and Starlight gimmick, I would tone it down on that, or explain that is because she can't control or unlock her true magical power, despite unlocking her talents before her magic.
But her OC is BS. No creature in the show is more powerful than Celestia, Luna, Twilight, and Starlight combined unless they were or are a villain. Discord, Tyrek after draining their magic, as well as Grogar's magic. Or do you mean when Celestia, Luna, and the others had their magic drained and or blocked? Because then I would agree with you. However, given you don't say that, I'm going to assume you didn't mean that and went off them in their full power in their day-to-day life. Also, why does Dreamer need to give an explanation? You don't give a reason and just move on. Let me try to help you. Dreamer should probably explain why it's BS for people who haven't seen MLPFAM and just don't know what the princesses are capable of without being told. As for an explanation, that was pretty long and very detailed. Let me take a swing at it. The princesses, Celestia and Luna, are godlike in their powers and abilities, such as, but not limited to, raising and lowering the sun and moon, defending Equestria,
Where? Huh? Is the wedding over?
It's all over.
Your spell. Perform your spell.
What good would that do? My changelings already roam free.
No! My power is useless now. I don't have the strength to repel them.
My love will give you strength.
What a lovely but absolutely ridiculous sentiment.
Oh, this is so much fun. How about a game of pin the tail on the pony?
Playtime is over for you, Discord.
Oh, I doubt that. Oh, hungry? Suit yourselves. Oh, what have you got there?
The elements of harmony. With them we shall defeat you. This must be when they turn Discord into stone.
You should see yourselves right now. The expressions on your face, so intense, so sure of yourselves. Hilarious!
And mostly in Luna's case, but also Celestia's case when she took Luna's place for a night protecting the dreams of other ponies.
Moon raised. It's even easier than raising the sun. What's next? Of course, everyone is asleep at night. Luna works alone. Oh, but it's nothing I can't handle. All I have to do is watch over Equestria, visit the Dream Realm, and protect ponies in their nightmares. My list was 3 times as long. All right, every pony's asleep. You're talking to yourself, Celestia, but there's nobody else to talk to. Yet, I can talk to ponies in their dreams. Now, to save some ponies from their nightmares, which aren't real, so it shouldn't be too hard, right? Right. Good call, Celestia. And I'm talking to myself again.
Among other things. Just give a list of feats. If you don't want to provide it with clips, you can take screenshots or add a link to their Wikipedia page. Now, I don't think a grown alicorn could be around any pony if they couldn't control their magic. We already saw how destructive Flurryheart had been, and she was just a baby. Can you imagine a full-grown alicorn that can't control their magic and destroyed a castle because of it? No, I don't think they'd kick her out. I think if she's any sort of decent princess, she'd leave of her own accord. Either that or she's a Draconicus in disguise that got amnesia and can't remember how to change back into her true form because she can't remember how to use magic right now. I mean, when we first met Discord, he was rather selfish. It stands to reason a Draconicus would stay in Equestria simply because they want to, even if they don't know they aren't a pony yet.
She's crushing on Big Mac and Shining Armor, but she's too shy to go up to them, plus Shining is married. God, I smell homewrecker. She likes colours, candy, animals, and fun stuff. What the fuck does fun stuff mean? I hate when people put in their bios fun stuff. Like, that could mean a myriad of things. She could be a psychopath and enjoys killing. That could be fun to her, but we wouldn't know that. She hates mean people and Princess Kate, and she's stronger than her too, by the way. Bullshit!
Well, she's starting out on her character bios, and I'm sure that's the main reason as to why she wrote down she likes fun stuff, quote unquote.
I had to jump in. I don't care if I'm cutting into her point. It can't take the letting her ramble on for a minute before talking. As for the bio thing, she could use a template and fill it out. If she didn't know what to put, she could have just used other people's character bios as a reference. As for the fun stuff thing, she could have put what she liked to do, or what she might have done in Equestria if she really were in that world. You know, like party with Pinkie Pie, go flying around Rainbow Falls of Cloudsdale, go to the Crystal Empire's library, pet sheep. Like, even when Misal was her age, she made more in-depth characters than this.
And the homewrecker because she has a crush on a married guy gimmick.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. The Google definition is trick or device intended to attract attention publicly or business. Or did you mean a night out with friends?
People ship their OCs with any character they want, whether they're married or not. I don't want to call Emily the next Akai Dahlia just yet. I want to give her a chance.
Yes, people can ship what they want as long as it's legal and all good. But with how many people ship their OCs with canon characters that are married, it's usually easy to think this will be another. Most don't even say if it's an AU, which would be fine if it was, because that would be a universe where the character never got married. Yet there is nothing here stating that, so it can feel very much like Emily's Alicorn character is a homewrecker. As for the Akai thing, no one said that but you. I even looked through Dreamer's comments and I couldn't see anyone in the comments saying something like that. Nor did Dreamer say it in his video, so you were the only one who even thought it seems.
Now we're going to be looking at her Gravity Falls OC, who again is called Emily. Don't have anything to say about the looks, it's just a basic character. Kind of looks like a background character, to be honest. This is Emily. She made a deal with Bill and is now mortal and hates it. She's over 100 years old and has seen bad stuff, and everyone she loves has died. My OC Emily makes a deal with Bill to cure her mother, but doing this he got her soul and now she's immortal. Okay, so the basic idea for the backstory isn't terrible. If done well, it can actually make for a pretty interesting story. But one question, why did Bill make her immortal? Is she like his servant or a permanent host body? Because, like I said, done well, that could be pretty damn interesting. What I don't like is, it doesn't make any logical sense for Bill to keep a girl from the 1900s alive for that long. I know he's kind of messed up and all that, but it still doesn't make any sense to him.
Now, I agree with part of what Dreamer has mentioned, but again, I'm going to have to partially disagree with the last part. The character and story itself aren't bad at all.
I'ma stop you right there. You left a take in, which a lot of people do, but this is why you need someone else checking it behind you, and have other people helping you when they can. If you don't have someone for that, it could be good to double or even triple check your videos for things like this, so others don't have to point it out to you like this. So, when the video is completely done, leave it for at least a day without thinking about it or any other video you will make. Leave video making alone for a day. Then watch it again. You'd be surprised what you can find.
As for the part about Bill Cipher keeping a girl for 100 years, after making a deal to save her mother and not making any sense, I beg to differ.
Then beg.
Now, the reason why it doesn't make any sense is because Emily doesn't explain why Cipher kept her for 100 years. But here's how I see it.
And we're going to skip that because it's just more padding and just making theories about someone else's character when this video is meant to be helping Dreamer, and this does nothing to help because this isn't Dreamer's character and he can't change the character. Only say stuff about what is or needs to be there.
Why Cipher made her immortal by saving her mother's life was a similar situation to what happened with Meg and Hades and Hercules. Emily either summoned or asked someone to summon Cipher to make a deal with her so she can save her mother from death. To which, there had to be a catch that if he did so, Emily would have to be immortal for the rest of her life, with Emily agreeing and saving her mom. Unfortunately, even after her mother died, Cipher still had the deal sealed with Emily, no matter how much she begged, pleaded, and cried to break the deal. And as we all know, with Bill Cipher, he won't break the deal he made with someone, because he's pretty much Satan in Gravity Falls. You argue, why am I the one doing all the work for Dreamer's part?
Cool fan theory. Not in character though. Bill might be like the devil in Gravity Falls, but he isn't the devil. They are different. The devil wants your soul. Bill might not. Bill is more chaotic and likes to have fun, which for him means hurting people. And since we don't know what Emily in Gravity Falls is like, it doesn't make sense why he would ever keep her alive if he deemed her boring. Even Alex has said that about Bill's personality in relation to Mabel. Misal found it, so she'll put a video here.
My concept is that Bill genuinely believes that Mabel's kind of like him. He sees Mabel as a chaos agent. Like, Mabel has got a little bit of a seed of anarchy in her, she's a little bit selfish, she likes to have fun at whatever cost. And Bill is all those things times a billion.
You might make everyone happy, but you're dead inside just like me.
Party never ends.
This party never stops!
But Mabel is a better person than Bill Cipher.
So he wouldn't keep a random girl alive for no reason. If she was kept alive past 100 years, then there needs to be a good story reason for it, or she needs to have something he liked about her, so he'd do that. And you didn't make the OC, so stop acting like you're the writer and the artist and start acting like a commentator when you make these videos. You aren't doing all the work on Dreamer's part, and if you were paying attention, you might know that. Now get off your high horse and start learning about commentating.
So we're just going to shotgun the rest of our self-insert OCs. Slutty Sonic OC, who's in a relationship with Shadows, Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic, because poly-over-sexual relationships, I guess. Also, what is he supposed to be? A fox, cat, hedgehog, squirrel-looking fucker? What? Oh boy, weird, spanking, also pink recolor of Flippy. Joy.
Okay, like I said before, I want to give her a chance and not call her the new Akai.
Literally the only one I've seen here make that connection is you. I mean, if you can prove me wrong, then here's an invitation to do so, because as it is, the comparison is coming from you and not anyone else.
Dreamer, I understand if you don't agree with polyamorous relationships, but these kind of relationships do exist because Emily's a teenager, and teens are at the age of finding the true selves within them. She could be polysexual and not even know it, or polyromantic at best.
Cutting into the point a little bit. I think it's best to explain the differences between polyamorous, polysexual, and polyromantic. Let's start with polysexual. Here, it says polysexual is involving or characterized by different sexualities, sexuality or romantically attracted to more than one gender. Next, we'll do polyromantic. Whereas here, it states nothing or relating to a person who is romantically attracted to people of various genders, but not necessarily to people of all genders. Lastly, we go to polyamorous. Now this one states to be polyamorous means to have open, intimate, or romantic relationships with more than one person at a time. People who are polyamorous can have any sexual orientation, and polyamorous relationships can include people of different sexual orientations. Now some of you might be asking why I'm saying all of this, but here's the point. Riolu Puppy here seems to not understand the words she uses some of the time. She seems to use polysexual and polyromantic as if it's two different kinds of polyamorous.
Or just wants to make her Sonic OC have multiple relationships with other characters in the name of good fun, or find a ship that she likes better.
Which I don't think Dreamer had a problem with. I think that Dreamer has an issue with was a minor sharing their lewd art online for the world to see when it isn't safe. A lot of adults could find the more lewd work she made and contact her because of it. But I'm not Dreamer, I can't say what his intentions were at the time. Maybe I could get his thoughts. In any case, we need to keep in mind that Tails is 8 or 9, so it makes Sonic 15 or 16. Knuckles would be 15 or 16 as well, and lastly, Shadow would be over 50 while physically being 15 like Sonic. The ages could also affect Dreamer's opinion.
Not saying it's entirely true, but I'm just making assumptions over here.
Welp, you know what they say about making assumptions. I'd suggest against making more of those in the future.
Like I said a million fucking times already, not trying to defend Emily or her actions here. She's a child and a minor doing all things 13-year-olds do for the most part. Whether people want to excuse her behavior because of that or not, or excuse the fact that she has autism or claims to have it on her DA profile, but saying they act that way because they have autism doesn't really excuse their behavior either.
That was a lot of padding to say that just because she's 13 and possibly has autism doesn't excuse her behavior and actions. Oh look! I just said what you said in one sentence without dragging it out. So, you can do it too.
JPEG images of Pokemon. Honestly, you couldn't have found a Pokemon base of each of these guys to make the picture look at least semi-better? Fucking Christ. Also, personal gripe of mine, how the fuck did she get Mew? Because again, Mew is a legendary Pokemon. I, personally, have a thing against making your OC have legendary Pokemon, unless it's done well. And here, it's not.
For the Pokemon thing, she might not have done well, but I respect your opinion on that, Dreamer. But, like I keep saying a million times over, please explain why it's bad, and explain how Emily can fix it.
Don't clap in your videos. It hurts your audience's ears and makes watching your videos very bad experience. If you have to have a loud sound in your video, you could at least put a headphone warning for people like Misal who use them. Are you not thinking about the quality of your videos, or are you actively trying to hurt your listeners?
That's the kind of thing I hate with these reviews. They say they don't like this, and that, and they never explain why and how it can be fixed.
Because this isn't a review. It's a rant, first and foremost. The word rant is the only one of those two that's used in the title, and it comes before the word review in the thumbnail. And you're one to talk. Besides padding out your video and repeating the same points I've already covered, you're adding nothing new to the video, and I'm starting to have a hard time finding new stuff to talk about.
As for the spanking and Flippy recolor, yeah, self-explanatory that Emily wanted to make a pink girl version of Flippy, and either didn't know how or was too lazy to do so, and only knew how because recolors are easy. And she may have a thing for spanking, but I'm not here to judge.
Then you're here to shame? You can either kink judge or kink shame. I don't kink shame, I kink judge.
Did Nenio see that shit with double D? How stereotypical. Also, Emily fucking turned Ken into an abusive prick for no reason other than feel bad for Mother C, guys. Christ, this stuff makes me angry.
And this is where you've lost me. I mean, my stepmom had a crush on Double D because Double D is a nice guy, and how the fuck is that stereotypical?
Okay, let me just... Well, it's time for me to read this out too. It reads, something conforming to a fixed or general pattern, especially a standardized mental picture that is held in common by members of a group and represents an oversimplified version, prejudiced attitude, or uncritical judgment. The fixed or general pattern is that people like Double D. Like, he seems to be the most popular character in the show, and as such, is usually shipped with people's OCs. The most. I'm sure you can find a few ex-reader fanfics out there too.
Is it only stereotypical of me to have a crush on the following characters? Jeff the Killer?
Yes, very much so.
Wile E. Coyote?
Yes, especially if you're a furry.
Lord Beerus?
Yes, again, especially if you're a furry.
Bergamo?
No clue.
Sebastian?
No clue, but he has a pretty boy look.
Lucario?
Yes, very much yes.
Boris the Wolf?
Yes, Misal has seen so much porn of him against her will.
Rouge the Bat?
Good lord, yes, you would not believe it.
Princess Peach?
Yes.
Barry?
Who?
Lola Bunny?
Yes, good gosh, the answer is very much a hard yes. Very stereotypical on that one.
Etc. I think not!
Then you literally have no idea what words mean. Is English your first language? Or do you need to go back to school and find out how to form a proper argument and sentence? You don't need to be making commentaries with your current knowledge of the English language and should have used Google to help you figure out the meaning of words before making this video in its current state that it is. You need to learn to ask for more help before making other commentaries or learn more about English. Now, I will say that Dreamer could have picked a better term there, like predictable, expected, unsurprising, or obvious. Those would have been better because they are more close to the point he was trying to make, rather than stereotypical, which could be taken to mean something more offensive.
Someone ships themselves or characters with double D.
You might want to make that text bigger with a different color because I can't read light pink text on a light pink bed while using the mobile app.
Wow, an invaded MOC that's on Earth for probably have no reason than to be shipped with either Dib or Zim or both. Fan-fucking-tastic. Why would you even make a Rugrats OC? Like, I don't know, that just seems weird to me. It's,
Jesus Christ. Look, I don't care at all if she made an Invader Zim OC to be shipped with Dib, Zim, whatever.
And that isn't the point of a commentary. At this point, you are making a rant. And you are offering Dreamer no criticism he can use in the future, as you call this video a criticism of his video, when all you are doing is letting your emotions get the better of you as you yell about your own ships and personal opinion. Do you know what happens when people take bad criticism? They get worse. You can't have everyone conform to you and make content just for you. Now maybe try giving him good critique and maybe there will be some value in your video.
Ben and Elaine did want to have kids in one episode of the show, so Emily probably wanted to make that happen. Even though I too find it weird like you do, Dreamer, that someone could make a Rugrats OC, I also find it rather interesting. Weird, but interesting.
And I think a baby character shouldn't be on the same page as lewd Sonic characters, but hey, we're all just sitting around sharing our opinions now, aren't we? Not like this video was supposed to help someone improve through criticism. Nah, let's just sit down and talk about how I feel when it comes to another person's OC.
Oh, hey guys, look, is this stereotypical? My OC has a dark past and has mental issues that I didn't do any research into and just threw them into a character to make people feel bad for her. Glorious!
Dreamer, not every OC's backstory is gonna be all sunshine, rainbows, lollipops, and unicorns. I hope you know that.
Yeah. Dreamer plays D&D. Dreamer writes his own characters. Dreamer has seen some messed up shows. I'm pretty sure he knows that, but what he was saying is Emily probably just added the mental disorders to her OC, not doing research into it properly and correctly. Maybe you should clean the cloth and stuffing out of your ears so you could hear the point that's being made.
Also, she has two more MLP OCs, Flutterheart and Milky. Which, whatever, nothing really wrong with them, other than Flutterheart's wing prototype on the rest of her body. Why are both of their cutie marks some kind of a heart? Seriously, all three of your OCs have hearts with cutie marks. Can someone say lack of creativity, please?
And can someone say, explain yourself, Dreamer? Look, I get it. You want Emily to have different designs for her MLPOC's cutie marks. But if Emily does have autism, as she says she does, then, as studies show, people with autism have sole focuses on a main thing at hand. Emily may have a focus mainly for hearts, and wants to put them on as cutie marks for her characters. Plus, they have different designs on them. One heart has a puzzle piece in it, and another one has fucking wings on it.
You do realize you're explaining autism to someone that has autism. Like, what? Well, guys, I guess if you have ADHD, you need it explained to you by a random person on the internet after you've been diagnosed. Quick, someone explain social anxiety and depression to Misal. Riolu, how little research did you do before making this video? It seems like you looked into things you wanted to, but not everything you needed to. Which, as you can probably guess, is a bad thing. Okay, so after this, she talks about how Emily needs to stay safe after the girl was grounded for dating a man in his 20s, so I won't say anything about that. But I will put the response Emily gave to Dreamer's video here. The screenshot reads, "So Dreamer made a rant about me, and I think I should make some changes. One thing that Dreamer got wrong is that I do credit the bases I use, but everything else I should change. I understand now that just because I like a show doesn't mean you need an OC from that show. I can definitely see how the Rugrats OC was a bit much. I don't have many friends at school, so I like to watch cartoons and put myself as a character in the show. with them all being my friends, but I can see how that can be annoying. Another thing is that I realize my relationship with my BF is inappropriate, and I think I need to make a decision if I want to stay with him in secret or end it, and it's something I really need to sleep on. Now, some of you might be worried, but if you paid attention to one of the first screenshots I used, then you know her decision. Let's bring it back up. This says, I'm having to make the decision to end my relationship with my boyfriend, who is much older. It's hard, but I think I'll make the right choice. Then she gives credit where she can, asking for help with more credit. So it seems she's out of that relationship and is safe. Though she hasn't been on since 2019, so if anyone has any info on her well-being, feel free to share if she's okay or not. After that, Riolu moves on to her final thoughts, so now it's time for my final thoughts. Listen, Riolu, I get you had good intentions with the video. You just didn't get that across very well, and your criticisms were not that good. Some of your points were, but you didn't need to go ramble on like that. I also understand this video is like 3 or 4 years old by this point, but it was released this year. If you wanted to make a video on Dreamer, you should have revamped this one or started fresh with new information. Try to have help with your scripting or editing if you can, and if not, take breaks and come back with a fresh perspective on your work. Try to keep rambling and padding to a minimal amount. Lastly, don't theorize about someone else's OCs. If you're doing a commentary on a video, focus a little more on the video you're covering rather than what could have been for the OC's unwritten stories. And now for my audience. I'm putting the original video below so you can check out the context, and I do recommend checking out the video if it looks interesting to you or you just want to make sure I didn't remove the context. That's it for this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed, please subscribe. If you liked it, please leave a like on the video, and if you didn't, please leave a comment below telling me why so I might improve. I shall see you in the future. Farewell for now.